Yes.
Okay, let me share my. So everybody able to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as I said, this Docker Swarm is gonna be working as like master and slave node based thing. So in that, as we know, we need to connect master and slave node so that whatever the task that you are going to be performing, it must be like running in the slave node based on the instructions that we have provided. So there are like two type of nodes in this Docker Swarm cluster setup. Cluster setup is nothing but the setup that we are going to be making, like one manager node and multi based worker nodes. So how we are going to be maintaining connection and how it going to be working. So first of all, let me launch the instances. So as of now, I'm going to be launching four instances and see how we are going to be connecting. Like one will be like master and another two will be like another three will be like slave nodes, nothing but worker nodes. So first of all, let's see like connecting those with the master node itself. So in Docker Swarm, the connecting way, like maintaining connection between the nodes, nothing but master and slave nodes, is very simple compared to other base things. Let me do something like this one. This is for master. So total three slaves and one master node. So first of all, let's open master and see what we need to do in that. So this is the master node. So let me launch those three as well, slave nodes. Let us So first of all, what we need to do means we need to update each and everything. So we need to update everything and we need to install Docker in each and every terminal. So in each and everything, Docker has been installed. So for creating like maintaining connections, what we need to do means first of all we are working with Docker Swarm. So Docker Swarm is already inbuilt with the Docker based thing. But coming to Docker Compose, so if I use Docker hyphen compose, see here Docker Compose is not found. We need to install, but Docker Swarm is already pre-installed whenever you install the Docker based thing. So what we need to do means for maintaining connection based thing, we need to initiate Docker Swarm. So like Git, we need to initiate Git for our local repository in your directory, right? So like that only you need to initiate Docker Swarm here. So for that we're going to be using Docker Swarm init is the command. If you just press this, it will automatically initiate the Docker Swarm and provides a token. Here you can see Docker Swarm. So Docker Swarm join hyphen hyphen token. This is the command for connecting the slave nodes to the master node, and you need to copy this complete token as well. So here you can see this is the private IP for your master node. So by using this token based thing, just copy this, and here you can see this node joined a swarm as a worker. So this is slave 1. If I go and do the same process, this is also will be joined as a worker, and next same goes here as well. So total 3 has been joined. So this will be the like master. And how can you identify that? Here itself it is saying like is now manager. Here you can see current node is manager. So this is the master node. In that I have initiated the Docker Swarm and it is acting like a manager. But if you want to know like how we can see this is the manager and those are the slaves will be like the worker nodes. So we need to use a command called docker node ls. So docker node ls is the command that we are going to be using. So inside this Docker Swarm, we are not going to be using completely Docker Swarm, Docker Swarm based commands. How we have used Docker based simple command, same like you are going to be using Docker based commands itself, but the usage of commands will be different. So here, if I use Docker node ls, it must be provide me the total details that we have, like what is the leader manager node and what are the connected slave nodes that we have connected. Each and every details must be shown here. So here you can see, and active stage as well, availability. So here you can see leader. So this is nothing but the manager node, and here you can see a star symbol will be provided where it identify it just provides you that this is the manager node, and you need to check the IP as well. So 250, so that is the same 250, right? And as well as here if I use docker node ls, see So you are unable to run those docker swarm based commands or else any commands in these slave nodes. Okay, only we are able to work with manager node, so that everything will be under control in the manager. No, like overwriting those type of things will be not done here. So that is the main advantage in the docker swarm based thing. So everything must be done through the manager node itself. So next, so to see the status, we have seen what are the slaves and what are the manager nodes. We are going to be using docker node ls, and here it is providing like particular id for each and every node that we are going to be using, whether it is a manager node, whether it is a worker node. These IDs, not the container based thing. Okay, these are all just connected based ID based thing. So even if you create a container here itself, you are unable to see the container ID when you are going to be using some of the commands here itself. So to see the container IDs, there is another way of seeing those. But first of all, each and everything is in active stage, and we have one manager node and three slave nodes that are being connected and in a working node, working based thing. Okay, everything is perfect. So Docker Swarm initiating, we're going to be using Docker init as a command for maintaining, like creating connection. When you initiate a Docker Swarm, it provides a token, it generates a token. If you use that token and execute that token in your slave nodes, it will automatically connect the worker nodes, nothing but attaches the worker nodes to the manager node and maintains the connection. And to see the status, those status of whether these are active or else what is the manager node and those type of details, you can use docker node ls as a command and you can get the details. So here, as you can see, I'm saying like master node and worker node. So node based thing. So what is node in the sense means node is nothing but a collection of containers. Okay, collection of containers. So in each and every node, we will be having multiple containers. We will be creating multiple containers and as well as maintaining those things. Like Docker Compose, what it will do means, if you execute the Docker Compose file, it will automatically create the multiple containers in the normal base thing, whatever the terminal or else whatever the node that you are going to be using in that itself. Here, the node concept is nothing but in each and every node, like worker node, slave 2, slave 3, each and every slave node, we will be having multiple containers. For each node, there will be like some assigned containers. Are we going to be assigning means no. Whenever you create uh, containers in this, what happens means it will see the available based worker nodes, slave nodes. It will see the availability. Based on that availability, it will automatically creates the worker nodes, like creates the containers in each of the worker node as well. So to see that, what we can do means, first of all, let's create containers. So here, basically in Docker, we for creating containers, we're going to be using Docker run based command. For creating image, Docker build based command. So same like that. So as I said, in inside the Docker Swarm, we will be having a multiple number of commands that we are going to be using. So in that part, here we are going to be using a different type of command like Docker service. So what is the usage of this service means? So this basically it creates a service where in this service we're going to be providing how many containers that we need to create base thing. So based on that command itself, it will automatically assigns the containers that you are going to be creating to the particular availability worker nodes. So in Docker Compose YAML file, so in Docker Compose we are going to be having a YAML file, right? So what is the usage of that YAML file?
like deploying some applications.
So in that YAML file, we are providing some instructions like how many containers need to be created,
Yes, sir.
what is the image that we are going to be using, that type of things. If you execute that thing, it will automatically creates that number of containers. So that is like Docker Compose based YAML file. So based on that YAML file, we are going to be creating. But in Docker Swarm, what we are going to be doing means we are going to be using a Docker service component. Docker service component will be used for creating containers based thing. It is nothing but so like in Docker Compose, how we have an YAML based file, in Docker Swarm, we are going to be having a service thing, service component. By using this service component, what we are going to be doing means we are going to be creating containers based thing, or else we have discussed like, so if one thing is not working, so if one container or else one node is not working, for example here we are going to be seeing like manager node, slave worker node based thing. So if one node is not working, how it going to be transferring those to another node like availability node? It must automatically do that. And as well as replica set means nothing but default based things, create multiple containers based on the previous base that we have created on the previous data itself. It must create a multiple containers. So those type of thing, nothing but health checking based thing, those type of things, those are the main advantages that we are going to be seeing in Docker Swarm. In Docker Compose, we are going to be only using multi-container based thing. Here we are going to be managing multi nodes which have a multi containers, and it will automatically, what it will do, based on the availability things, it will automatically transfers the containers. Same how we are going to be receiving traffic, based on the receiving traffic, it will what it will do means, so for slave 1 I have 2 containers, and for slave 2 I have 3 containers. Slave 1 has whatever the containers, like 2 containers we have, for that the traffic that we are going to be receiving is more. So what it will do means, for slave 2 also it is using 2, but there is one container, extra container. So what it will do means, it will automatically transfers the traffic to the container 3 in the slave 2. So that is the like automation based thing. But in this Docker Swarm, it is like automation is like semi automation, not complete automation. It is like semi automation. For some part of time we need to use commands to do those part of thing, nothing but we need to manually execute some commands. So by using that commands only, it will automatically creates those things. So first of all, let's see how to create a service, nothing but container based thing. So by using service component, we are going to be creating containers here itself. So what I will do means, so the basic command will be like docker service is the command. So like create docker service create. So this is the command, and I need to initiate some port, like, so for example for nginx it is like 8080 default. So hyphen name. So what is the name that I'm going to be providing? Nginx. Okay, container one, only one container I'm going to be creating, and see for each for which node it going to be allocating this container one, the first container that I'm going to be creating, to which node it going to be assigning this. So for this I'm going to be using Nginx. Enter. So only one container I have specified, so one task, one is one preparing. Done. So container has been created, nothing but service has been created to see the status. So for seeing the container status, like running container status, what is the command that we are going to be using in Docker?
Docker ps hyphen here.
Docker ps is for actively running containers. Docker ps hyphen a is used for all the containers, even if they are in exiting stage. So when it is in existing stage, it's going to be
ps
showing like docker ps hyphen a is the command. if it is only in running stage, if you want to see the running based container itself, then only we are going to be using docker ps as a
Yeah.
command. So first of all, what we will do means we need to see whether the service is created or not. So for that purpose, we can use docker service ls. So here you can see this is the service id. So as I am saying, this is not the container id, this is ids. Like here we have node id, this is the node particular node based id, and here we have created a service. In that service we have one container that we have created, so this will be like the service id itself. So for, as I said, container id will not be displayed, we need to see, for seeing that we need to use another command in the docker swarm based thing. So one has been created, like container one has been created with an service id, one replicas. So I haven't provided any replicas, so it has only one base thing, like one container is the thing. So everything, image with nginx latest and port has been tcp 8080, that is the thing that we have specified. So to see the complete details, like status, running status based things. So in docker ps is the command for running status based things. So here same, docker service ls, in the part of ls we're going to be using ps space, what is the name of the service that we are going to be searching. So we have only one service, that is con1. If you have multiple, you need to provide the name. So for that, docker service ps, that particular service name, like container one is the service name, enter. So here you can see this is the id and container nginx running stage, running 2 minutes ago. Okay. So this is how we can check the status of your service, like container service that you have created. And to list the services that we are going to be that we have created, we're going to be using ls. To check the status, process status, present status, we're going to be using ps as a command. So we have created only one thing. And one second, everything is fine. So docker node ls, and we have created one service that present working status. So con1 is the name, enter. So here node, here you can see node. So on which node it is running? So 186 is nothing but this is the node. And if you go 186 slave 1, right, slave 1 186. So here you can see, so this is the container id. Here you are unable to see anywhere container id based thing or any details. So this is the container id. So here you can see it has been allocated to the availability slave. So slave one is all, we have three slaves, but the first slave that is available is slave one. There is no containers that are running in that, so it has been allocated that whatever the container that you have created to the slave one automatically. So in this as well we have so as we discussed earlier in docker's form, so we need to increase the containers. So manually we need to increase the container based on the traffic that we are going to be receiving. So how can we do that? So as of now we have one only, so I need to create like replicas based thing, like for this. So I need to create like two or three containers extra. So already we have a running container. So based on that, or sorry, we have a service in our master node. So for this service I need to create a replicas, like I need to increase the container thing, and it must automatically add the containers to the availability of whatever the slaves that we have. According to that, it must automatically assign the containers to that. So what are the service that I'm going to be using, based on that service on, I need to create a, or I need to increase the containers count. So how can we do that? Nothing but a replicas based thing. How can I do that means, so you can do it in three ways, sorry, two ways. So when you are working, like when you are creating a service, you can specify that thing, or else we have by default, like by knowingly or unknowingly, we haven't provided that command, and we have created one service itself. But as of now, I need to create another three replicas for that container that I'm going to, the service that I have created. So for that, what we can do means, we can use subcommand. So these are the two ways. By using subcommand, after creating the service, we can specify, or else before creating the service, like before providing the service also, we can, in the same command, we can provide. These are the two ways. So as of now, we are going to be seeing, like, by default, like by unknowingly, I have created the service without specifying the replica set, like thing. But how many replicas that I need to create before creating the service. So I have already created the service. So how can we specify when you have created this service, and how can you increase the container count, right? Like replica set count, if your service has been created means, by using docker service as a command. So scale is the, sorry, subcommand scale. For increasing or decreasing the containers, number of containers, we're going to be using scale as a base command. Next, what is the service that you are going to be using, like what is the, in which service you want to provide. So con1 is the service that I want to increase. So if you have multiple services means, then you need to specify that particular name equals to how many. So as I said, I have one running, I need to increase three more containers. So here is the, here the number that you are going to be specifying. Here we need to specify the particular number, and there is something that you need to remember whenever you are using this command, to increase or else decrease the container value. Okay. So as of now, I want to increase three. So previously, what we have, one is running. So extra three. So total count will be like one plus three. So four, and see what happens. So I need three, but I have provided four. So what why I have provided four means, I will tell you. I will show you as well here itself. So to know the services, you're gonna be using Docker service ls. So listing. So here you can see now it is like four. So four replicas. Next, Docker service ps con one. So here you can see. Okay. So previously con 1.1. Okay, and it is allocated to this IP, nothing but that slave node. And as of now, I have provided four, but it has created three. So why I am providing four means, so as I said, I need to increase three. So whenever you are providing the scale value for increasing the container replica set, or else for increasing the services, what we need to do means, so whatever the running container value, like what are the running services value. Okay, so we have one service that is already running. So plus how many containers, that like how many extra services that you need to increase, like increasing value. So one, as I said, I need to increase three. So one plus three equals to four. So that what happens means, it will create the extra three base thing. So previous base thing will be automatically there, and extra three. So one plus three equals to four. That is the value that you need to provide. Like previously, how many services that I have provided, and plus how many you want to increase. That the number you need to specify here. So the total four containers it is running, and here you can see, based on the availability, as I said, based on the availability, it will automatically assigns the containers. So in 186, so here we have already assigned the first first container based thing. Now 250 and 100 and 250. See here. Okay. So 42, 250, that is I think slave 2, right? Yeah, 42, 250, slave 2. If I use Docker PS, so con to 1.2. Next slave 3, oh, sorry, Docker PS, so con 1.3. And what it does means, for the manager node also it will assign the container. Here you can see. So for each and every node it has assigned the containers. So 41, 250 means our own container. So for Docker PS, if I use here, you can see here also one container, that is Docker 1.4, sorry, con 1.4 has been assigned to your master node. So it has checked like, so for one, for slave one has already has a running container. So for slave 2, for slave 3, there are no. So each container has been assigned to one of the slave nodes. And what it does means, we have another one container. So what it does means, so manager node is not working that much, like manager node has that much issue. So it automatically assign the container to manager node as well. So this is how it will automatically assigns each and every node, sorry, containers, for the availability of the nodes based thing. So now if I again increase the scale value, nothing but replica value. So see, so total we have how many means 4 we have. So if I need to increase 2, so let's increase 3 itself now also, and see what it will do. I will increase 3 containers, like 3 more base things. So how can it assigns based on the availability of the slaves? Let me see. So previously we have 4, and now I am going to be increasing 3. So 4 plus 3 equals to 7. Enter. So created Docker service ls. So total 7 is there. PS con 1 service name, and here you can see it has been created 7 base things. So 5, 6, 7. And if I go, so it has assigned another container. So another container, only one container. But here for manager node also it has been assigned 2 containers. So why it has been not created for the slave 3, like slave node, like worker node 3 means. So as I said, it what it will do means, in background it will check for the availability based thing. So as of now we have only 7 containers, like 7 base things, 7 services. Inside that we have created 7 containers. So it is better to work with these 3, and let it be like in reserve mode, like slave 3 must be in reserve mode. Let it be in reserve mode, and assign the base whatever the containers that we have, services like extra containers, let's assign to these 3. So if you have any high traffic based thing, what it will do means, it will automatically converts that to the slave 3. So that what happens means, there will be no issue like lagging issue, or those type of issues will be not seen. So that is the main advantage of using this Docker Swarm based thing. So it will automatically allocates those things to the availability based things. So this is how we're going to be creating containers by using the service component in your Docker Swarm, and checking the status as part of thing, and seeing whether the containers has been allocated to your slaves, and how it is going to be allocating means, in background it is going to be allocating. And next, so how can we decrease those things? So by using the same command, Docker service scale con 1 service name equals to, for decreasing also we're going to be using same. So if I want only 5, if I press enter, so if I use Docker service ls, sorry, 5 Docker service ps con 1. So here you can see One, two, three, four, five. First five is there, last two has been removed. And now what I will do means Docker PS, it has two containers. Docker PS, one container, one container. So it has automatically delete which one means. So in this in this we have, so as I said, this will be in reserve stage. So before that we have slave 2, in that it has removed one container, and from the master it has removed one container. So slave 1 is the main major part of thing, so it will not do anything to the slave base. Why? Because the first container that we have created will automatically attach it to the slave 1. So it acts like a second base thing, so second part of your container, like master node based important base node. So it will automatically not deletes. If we have multiple containers there are, then it will, what it will do means, so based on these things it will automatically delete the containers in background itself. But mainly for slave one, like first container that has been allocated to the main important node, it will be like it will be like an important node based thing, so it will not go through for deleting those containers in the slave one. But we can delete those as well. So at some part of time what we will do means we will just remove total service. So what are the service that we have created, it will we will remove that service by using the command itself. So next what we will do means in the service component only there is another command like for inspecting. So for knowing the details of the service what we have created, so docker service inspect hyphen inspect pretty. So here you can see it will just provide you the complete details of your, so container space nginx and that particular id part of thing, what is the thing, and this is the service id and service name, service mode replicated how many, 5, monitoring 5s. So 5 for the 5 part of thing, each and everything is running or not, it will check the status monitoring period and each and everything will be seen here. So this is for just if any uh, thing you want to check, you can use this like detailed information about the service that you have created, you can use that command. So now what I will do means removing the service. So you can inspect like docker service, yes, on one. You can inspect by the service IDs as well. Okay, docker service inspect that particular service ID, just to provide some service ID, add some service ID. 1 second. Okay, sorry, service ID right. This is container base. So this is the service ID. So by using this service ID also we can inspect. So here you can see by using this service ID also you can inspect in this. So it will show you the each and every information about your service that you have created. And next let's see about like how to end, nothing but remove your service. So for that just docker service rm, if I use docker service ls there is no service, even if I use So nothing is there. So now what I will do means, so everything will be removed. See, containers, each and every containers will be removed. So like we don't need to do each and everything manually for each and every node like that. So in Ansible, like how we are going to be working, like from master itself we can install what are the things for your need in your slave node. Same like through manager we can control the slave nodes and execute what are the tasks that we need. Through manager node itself we can do each and every thing. So this is how we are going to be working with. So this is like one of the component in Docker Swarm. Okay, so this is like one of the component, like service component based thing in your Docker Swarm. So there is another component like node based thing itself. So what is the usage of Docker node? Nothing but Docker node is the another component. So like Docker service we have Docker node. So basically, as I said, for node, in each and node is nothing but a combination, like maintaining managing of multiple containers in a particular thing. So that is nothing but a node. We call it as node. We have manager node and worker nodes. So what are the setup that we have done, like master, slave 1, slave 2, slave 3, like maintaining the communication and connections, each and everything, and how we have run. So this whole part we call it as a cluster setup, swarm cluster setup. Okay, swarm cluster setup. Inside the swarm cluster setup we will have a master node and we will have slave 1, slave 2, like worker nodes, how many worker nodes that you have. So each, the total part we will call it as cluster setup. So inside this cluster setup we are going to be managing through the manager node, nothing but master node. And as I said, for service, same like service, we have another component that we are going to be using in Docker Swarm, that is like node. So what is the usage of this node command or else node component in your Docker Swarm means? So first of all, to see the connections of your master node and slave nodes, you can use the Docker node ls. And as well as, so here you can see leader. So this is the leader. Okay, and if you want to, like, for if the main leader has been, or else the master node has been, due to some issues, some reboot has been doing. So what happens means that everything must be in active, like it must automatically do what it will do means it must replace like it must take another slave as a usable part, another node as a usable part for continuing the work without any interruption part of thing. It must take another as a usable node, like master node, until it goes to the active stage, until it comes to the normal data stage. It must take another as a another node as a reusable node for like as a later part of thing. So for that, how can we set up those things? So it must be set up, right? So for that, how we can do that means, so rechargeable is the thing that we call it as. So we can promote them, like we need to promote, we need to provide the information to the swarm that, so if leader is not running stage, like here we can see active stage. If it is in not running stage, like any due to some issues it is not in working condition, like this terminal is not working means, it must automatically take the another container, another, sorry, another node. So we need to specify that particular node IP. So this IP, by using this IP we will provide some information which is nothing but recharge reachable. So by using this, what happens means it will automatically whenever it is down, this terminal is down, it will automatically connects with the next, whatever the reachable node that you're going to be specifying as a, or else promoting as a next ladder. If it is in not working stage, like if it is in a rebooting stage or anything, it must automatically connect to that particular node itself. So for that part we need to specify, like we need to provide one instruction. So how can we do that? It's by using docker node as a command itself, we can do that. So what is the command to provide that type of thing means, docker node ls 25. Okay, let's stop this part. So docker node promote is the command, and which worker node you want to promote, like provide the reachable part of thing. So let me do like so slave one. So in this I need to provide this as a next later part of thing if it is not working means. So provided to manager in swarm. Now if I use docker node ls, so here you can see this will be leader and reachable. So if I just stop this service means, okay, so this connection has been closed. As of now the connection has been closed, and if I go here, docker node ls, 14140. Okay, ip has been changed, huh? Okay. Okay, ip has been changed, public ip, right? So it has been changed, so it is not correct. So now here you can see this ip is gone to reachable, and 186 is gone to ladder. So previously this is the, like here itself you can identify. So if you have seen star means it is nothing but the master node itself. So but it transferred it to reachable, and it has been provided to the ladder to that particular previous base thing. So based on that it will automatically converts it as a ladder, so that what happens means your work will not be disturbed, or else there is no problem with your containers part of thing. It will automatically runs itself. So this is how we are going to be using, but they have another subcommands as well, but as of now this is for today place things. So whatever the as